Suicide, murder, betrayal, and a failed coup d'etat are some of the events that are coming up as we start in the book of 2 Samuel. 1 Samuel ended with the death of Jonathan and Saul, and 2 Samuel will start with a rocky transition of power. I'm sure there will be some tricky questions headed my way as I take on the next set of 10 questions from Carl Shoup's book, Test Your Bible Knowledge. In 2 Samuel, we will meet some very interesting characters that will have big parts to play throughout the next few chapters of the Bible. Now, there are 4 choices with every question, and I'm going to try my best to get every question correct. All of the questions include a reference from the Bible just in case you doubt the author's answer or you want to read up on the story. Okay, I'm ready to get into the next set of questions, so we'll start with question number 341. Question number 341, quote, "Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me," was said by A, Saul to an Amalekite, B, Saul to his armor-bearer, C, Jonathan to Saul, or D, Saul to Jonathan? All right, this is a really good question. It's a little bit tricky, and I'm not very sure of the answer, but I know that I'm going to eliminate choices C and D, Jonathan to Saul and Saul to Jonathan. I don't believe that they said that to each other, so C and D are out. It is between A and B, and I want to say that the correct answer is A, Saul to an Amalekite. But I think that last time his armor-bearer was involved at the end of 1 Samuel, but we're in 2 Samuel now, and I remember the story that an Amalekite came to David and said that he had actually slain Saul. So for this question, I'm going to go with answer choice A, Saul to an Amalekite, and we'll see what the answer is. Okay, question number 342, quote, "How are the mighty fallen?" was said of A, Saul by the Amalekite, B, Saul and Jonathan by David, C, David by Abiathar, or D, David by Saul. And I'm going to use process of elimination again on this question, and I'm going to get rid of D, David by Saul, and I'm going to eliminate C also. And again, it's between A and B. And I think that it was said of Saul and Jonathan by David. So I'm going to go with answer choice B here, although I'm really not sure. But I am going to stick with my choice and go with B for number 342. All right, question number 343, and it is another quote, and it says, "Tell it not in Gath, lest A, the Philistine army rejoice, B, the Philistine daughters rejoice, C, the Israelite populace lose heart, or D, Gath be the next attacked." And it makes sense that D would be the answer, tell it not in Gath, and then Gath be the next attacked. But it could also be A, the Philistine army rejoice, because it says, "Lest the Philistine army rejoice." B is also a good answer, the Philistine daughters rejoice. I don't think that it's C, the Israelite populace lose heart. I am going to go with B, the Philistine daughters rejoice. So for question number 343, I'm going to choose B. All right, number 344. The gathering at the pool of Gibeon ended in A, dancing, B, swimming, C, oratory, or D, bloodshed. And I am sure about this answer. I remember the story, and I believe it's where Joab and I think it was Abner came together with their opposing sides, and there was a battle, and it ended in bloodshed. So for 344, I'm going to go with D. 345. Upon Saul's death, A, the house of Saul fought long with the house of David. B, all the Israelites rallied to David. C, all the Israelites forsook David for Abner of Saul's house, or D, the Israelite kingdom broke into small warring fragments. All right, I want to go with D, because I believe that the Israelite kingdom did break up into small warring fragments, but let me look at these other answers here. A is also a good one. The house of Saul fought long with the house of David. That could also be a good answer for this question. B, all of the Israelites rallied to David. I'm pretty sure that did not happen, so we can get rid of B. And C, all the Israelites forsook David for Abner of Saul's house. Nope, I don't think that's the answer here either. So it's between A and D. And for this one, I'm going to go with A. The house of Saul fought long with the house of David. And that will be my answer for 345, A. 346. David's 6 sons were born, A, each of a different woman, B, 2 of one wife, 4 of another, C, all of one wife, or D, all of one concubine. And for this question here, I think that the answer is A, each of a different woman. Question number 347. Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, lost a kingdom because he accused his general Abner of A, greed, B, gluttony, C, sloth, or D, concupiscence. I am fairly certain that the answer for this question is D, concupiscence. I kind of remember the story, so I'm going to go with D for my answer here. 348. Abner lost his life owing to others A, fatherly caution, B, soldierly recklessness, C, brotherly affection, or D, civic pride. And here again, I remember this story. The answer is C, brotherly affection. I believe it's because Abner killed one of Joab's brothers, and Joab came after him, and I think that that is the answer for this question, C, brotherly affection. 349. David dispensed to those who brought him news of the death of Saul and the death of Ishbosheth, A, money, B, praise, C, imprisonment, or D, death. And this one, I'm fairly certain that the answer is D, death. I can remember in the story that the individual that brought him the news about Saul's death was killed by some of David's men, and the same thing happened when the death of Ishbosheth was relayed to David. So I'm going to go with D, death, for my answer here. 350. When David was made king, he was A, 20, B, 30, C, 40, or D, 50. Okay, this type of question is the author's favorite type of question. I run into this quite a few times. I wish I would have paid more attention when I read the account. I do not recall what David's age was, so I'm going to have to eliminate some of these and try to make sense of it and hopefully get this one right. I think that 20 is awfully young, so I'm going to eliminate 20. And I think that 50 is just too old because he rules, I think, for almost 40 years. And that would have made him 90 at the very end, which is possible, but I don't think that it is the correct answer here. So that leaves it between B and C, 30 and 40. And 40 seems old enough, I guess, and 30 seems like a good answer too, so I'm going to have to pick one of these. I'm going to go with C, 40. Well, actually, I'm going to go with B, 30, and hopefully I'll get this one right. Well, that brings us to the end of another 10, and I think this 10 was pretty difficult, and I'm curious to see how many of them I was able to get correct. So I'm going to go back to the back of the book where the answers are waiting for me. And we started with question number 341, and we're on the second page of answers here in the first column. And 341, the correct answer is A, and I wrote down A, so I got that one right. The question was the quote that we started with, and it was spoken by Saul, and he said it to an Amalekite. So A is the correct answer here. 342, the correct answer is B, and I wrote down B. And that question was another quote, and it looks like it was said by David of Saul and Jonathan. How are the mighty fallen? So B is the correct answer for that one, and I got that one right. 343, a third quote. The correct answer is B, and I wrote down B. It was the quote, "Tell it not in Gath." And it looks like lest be the Philistine daughters rejoiced. So B is the correct answer for that one. All right, 344. That was the question about the gathering at the pool of Gibeon ended in, and I said D, bloodshed, and the correct answer is D, bloodshed. All right, good job. 345, correct answer is A, and I wrote down A. That one was a short question. Upon Saul's death, and I said A, the house of Saul fought long with the house of David, and that is the correct answer. 346, the question was about David's 6 sons. Correct answer is A, and I wrote down A. Each of a different woman was the answer. So David's 6 sons were born, each of a different woman. All right, on to 347. Correct answer is D, and I wrote down D. So this is looking pretty good for me. That question was about Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, lost a kingdom because he accused his general Abner of D, concupiscence, and that's what I wrote down. All right, moving on to 348. That question was the one about Abner lost his life owing to others, and I said C, brotherly affection, and the correct answer is C. So there you go. 349. Correct answer is D, and I wrote down D. This is looking real good for me. This one was the one David dispensed to those who brought him news of the death of Saul and the death of Ishbosheth. I said D, death, and that is, in fact, the correct answer, D. 350, the very last one. Correct answer is B, and I wrote down B. So that means I scored 100% correct. That question, by the way, was the one about David's age, and I kind of struggled with this, and it looks like I made a pretty good guess when I said B, 30. All right, 100%. Not too bad. That'll help out with the cumulative score a little bit, and it'll give me a chance to possibly get another 100% on the next quiz and get 2 in a row perfect score. So it's something to shoot for. So it looks like we've gotten off to a pretty good start here in the book of 2 Samuel. Like I said, I think that this is one of the best books of the Bible. The stories are really interesting and full of a lot of intrigue. The next set of 10 questions should cover David's affair with Bathsheba and his difficult relationship with his son Absalom. So more interesting and exciting stories are ahead.